Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I am speaking with Kelly and Troy of Carvin Walls. The two have just released a fantastic new track called Lucky Enough, and I am super excited to talk to you guys all about it. Thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super happy to have you. Where are you in the world?
We're in Nashville,
Yeah, we're actually
Tennessee, by
Nice.
God.
What's going on over there these days?
It's changing a lot. We've been here for 10 years
Yeah.
in September, basically. So, Nashville, it's people guitar slinging and writing songs and doing the Nashville thing.
yeah, well, and it's the time of year where touring slows down a little bit, so we're home more, and we're
Yeah.
actually we're actually in the process of building a house right
Yeah,
now, which has been fun.
Nice. That sounds like a
basically
headache and a good
Troy is,
plan.
yeah. So,
Amazing. And then you find time to make music, which is incredible. I can't even imagine doing both. I want to get right into this. The song is called Lucky Enough, and I could do I think an okay job on my own, kind of like deciphering what it's about, but it's always best heard from the artists themselves. So I would love to know what inspired the song and really what's the meaning behind it.
okay. So,
This gets deep.
The million dollar
so
question,
If the
yeah,
song wasn't,
exactly. Right.
So first and foremost, my sister passed away 3 years ago.
Uh,
And when you lose a sibling or anyone you love, it's very hard.
yeah.
And it's a process. And so we ended up writing it with our friend Keith, who came into town, and he was from Milwaukee area, and he was battling cancer at the time. And Ryan, our producer, Ryan Rossabo, set up the write. And this was on St. Patrick's Day
Okay.
this year. So ironic. That morning I was like cooking eggs. I'm like, I don't know, honey, we should write something like about being lucky.
well, I'll interject a little bit
And
here
he
because
poo-pooed that
well,
idea.
so this
Sure.
is the funny thing about how the songwriting world works a little here. She was kicking around this idea about the write that we were going to do that day, and she was mentioning specifically about writing something about being lucky because of St. Patrick's Day.
Well,
Sure.
because of Keith, really, with
Well,
fighting cancer.
at the time, I didn't put all that together.
Yeah, I was thinking
Okay,
Keith, he was
okay.
thinking corny
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
I immediately was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. I just pooped all over it. I was like, yeah, that's not going
I
to. I was
understand.
like, let's write something people actually care to hear about.
Yeah.
And then so actually we get in the right, and then I should probably let her tell this part
And
of the
then,
story.
well, it was ironic because we got there and Keith and Ryan were kind of having a deep conversation.
Right.
And one thing led to another. We were talking about a lot of different things, and it just led to us writing about this song.
Well, that and there was a cliche moment. If we like, we'll make this story really long, given an opportunity. But
Yeah, please, please.
yeah, so the I think the game changer moment that turned it all around, especially for me, when I was like, okay, I'm in. No more argument.
Yeah.
Is Keith was telling us about the story when his dad passed,
Okay.
and completely unrelated to Kelly's situation. It was just ironic that they were discussing that when we showed up. And as cliche as this sounds, it was literally one of those somebody said the right thing moments. And he was basically saying he had left his dad's service and he was sitting out in the car and was pretty angry about everything. And he was sort of having a personal fit, you might say, in his car and just, dealing with it the only way he knew how. And he said that it was like a moment. He said it was almost like
He said my dad was in the car
yeah, he said,
Okay. Okay.
because I felt him there.
yeah, he said, suddenly I felt my dad sitting in the passenger seat of the car. And he said, just as real as the conversation that we're having right now. He said, he like looked at me and he was angry. And he said, what in the world are you doing acting like this? He's like, do you know how lucky we was? And I was like, almost choked. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's
He's
do
like,
it.
out of all the billions of people in the world, we got put together in this life. And don't you know how lucky we were? You like, do not be upset. And he said, and after that moment, he felt completely different about his dad's death.
Yeah, he said just instantly
And
felt at ease.
yeah, and like, and I'm sitting there like getting hot because I'm thinking about all like my sister, and I'm like, oh my gosh, because I have a lot of stories of my sister doing some
Sure.
weird stuff, but that's a whole nother thing. But I held it all in, and then Ryan started playing this little thing on the guitar, and Troy's like, "Well, I have this hook, lucky enough," and I'm
The
just
guy
like,
that didn't want to write a song
the
about
one that
being
didn't
lucky.
want to
Sure.
write the song about being lucky. So when somebody asks about what the song is about, it's like it's honestly complex because it's about anybody who died, really, that you
Sure.
loved, that you felt lucky enough to have loved. But it's, for us, it was like a combination of my sister, Keith's dad, and then Keith passed away 4 months after the song was written.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Right.
So like
There's so many
in a
layers
way,
to this.
yeah, and from what we know, that was Keith's last song that he ever wrote. And
Hey,
it just
hey.
totally I don't know. It was very like it felt like that was he had to write that song. Like we had to write this song.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I completely understand. Listen, again, listening to myself, I can only make so many connections. There's no way anyone would ever be able to guess what it was actually about. So I thank you for actually breaking it down. It helped a ton because, yeah, now I would lead everyone to this conversation if they ever wanted to know. I
it
mean,
was a
but
lot
I'm
to
also
unpack.
right, but I'm
Yeah.
also so sorry for all like the heartache and loss that you've experienced over the last year. It's
Well,
unbelievable.
I think that's the beauty of this song, the way it came out, though, because it was also a way for everybody to unpack the tragedy of it all,
Yeah,
and to be able to to really sit back in the way that Keith explained it with his dad's circumstance. It was really a chance to sit back and unpack all this tragedy and try to look at it from a more
Positive.
yeah. It's like
Like
Sure.
glass half full instead of half empty. Like, yes, you
exactly.
did lose this person, but you were lucky to love them for as long as you were, lucky enough too.
Totally. Yeah.
yeah. It's
No,
like
I fully understand.
yeah. It's
Um,
tough. In the moment you feel like you're dealing with the circumstance, but it's funny almost how quick we forget all the years of the good that made us like
yeah.
the only reason we hurt so much when it happens is because of all the good that led to it.
I agree. So you're husband and wife,
Yeah.
and I mean that comes with its own, things. But how does it work actually making music? Like, what's the dynamic between singing and the process of creating and the production? Like, how does it look behind the scenes, basically?
In a lot of ways, I guess. We kind of are like really brainstormy together on a lot of stuff. Like
Okay,
we'll ping ideas back and forth. Like as far as I don't know, more creative like video ideas or stuff like that. But like in the in writing, we same thing, kind of go back and forth. And he's really good at certain things. I'm good at certain things, and we just
sure.
kind of meet in the middle.
Yeah, like functionally it's nice like that. And it's also cool that we both, since this is it, it's like there's
Right.
a lot of people would probably worry, you hear horror stories about people working together and living together,
All the time.
but our
All the
but
time.
but
Right.
ironically, I don't know, with the music situation, it like I don't know, it feeds a little different, I guess, because I don't know, the nice thing about the creative world is it's a different set of things than like I think working in an office
Yeah.
or something like
Absolutely.
that. We just get to be creative together, so it's
Yeah.
cool.
It's fun.
No, I understand that there has to be collaboration in any job. I just figure like this could be the time to unwind. You know what I mean? And really
Sure.
like work on something. Now,
It is and it's
yeah,
not.
Well, we've gotten really good at
sure.
turning it off and on. Like we schedule co-writes and things
Oh,
like
okay.
that. Of course, we have shows, so we do kind of separate the two. I mean, not always. Like we definitely have.
Spontaneously wrote a song in the kitchen,
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
it happens. But I mean, out of all the years we've been married now, we're coming up on 6,
7.
7. Watch me go. See, I
Wait,
messed up.
There you
we
go.
just celebrated 7.
Oh,
It's gonna be 8 years
whew.
Nice.
in
So
May, next May. So we're
yeah,
not
Okay.
so we're 7 years in
Yeah.
then, and I mean I could probably count on one hand the times that we've just spontaneously just sit down and kicked a song out. So it does happen, but more often than not, it's kind of like
scheduled.
it's more scheduled. It's like
Sure.
kind of separated from home for
But
the
you
most
have,
part, except for when
yeah,
something like is really inspired, and then you just feel like you have to go after it, which we do.
of course.
Mhm.
But you
But
also have outside help putting these songs together afterwards, right? Like with producers
yeah,
and stuff like that. And
Well,
Like, how does that work?
Nashville just kind of works that way in general.
You do a
Okay.
lot of co-writing, so we co-write a lot with other writers, and then I mean, we don't demo or record every song that we write. It would
Yeah,
be
that would be
insane.
impossible.
Yeah. But yeah, so we.
Well, Nashville just kind of operates that way.
Yeah, it's like a team.
Standard. You know, I think everybody pretty much gets used to that way of doing it because before we came here, I think we all just kind of did our own writing in our own way, in our own time. But then when you get here, the writing collaboration is
it's just part of this town.
It's really a big deal here. Like, you know, Nashville's kind of
you become a better writer by writing with other people and you know, hearing other people's ways of thinking that you didn't do, and you learn a lot from writing with other people. So
that, and it'll actually change the way you think of an idea too, because like it used to be you get an idea and you feel like you have to build it from start to finish.
Sure.
And now you think of an idea when you get in this town and you're used to the collaboration atmosphere. Now you come up with an idea that you love, and rather than trying to build the idea from start to finish, you almost intentionally stop yourself from doing that so that you don't step on the possibilities.
Okay.
And we've learned to think of song ideas more from the standpoint of who would be a good addition to a thought like this. So now we think of an idea and it's like, man, that would be a really, like, this is something we should bring in Lee, or this maybe is Russ. Like, you know, maybe Drew Green would be a good call for this one. And you start thinking in terms of like who the idea takes you to more than where does it take you.
No, I mean, in that case, Carvin Walls feels like more of a music collective than a band, which honestly I prefer. Fair. No, seriously, because you can have, obviously you're the core of the band, but having a rotating cast of members come in and give their thoughts and do their thing, like, it really does expand the sound. I also think it's fairly safe to call you guys country soul. Is that like a fair assumption?
Yeah, that's fair.
Country soul, is that what you said?
Yeah, country soul.
That.
Yeah,
that's
you know.
Yeah.
Do you have maybe any plans to experiment on that sound, or do you think that you found what you're looking for and you're going to do things?
Well, so we kind of, I don't know if you heard our album Between Us.
I did not.
So Between Us, we kind of like, we would joke and say it was Mo country, like a Motown country.
I love that.
Not all the songs on there, but there's a few that are like kind of, I don't know, they almost have like a Bruno Mars, Meghan Trainor / country thing. So we've always kind of like put like a bluesy influence in, especially with like the bass. There's some kind of bluesy, funky bass to everything.
Yeah, either blues or funk or soul, anything from that genre, you know, that area. Like,
even with Lucky Enough, I was like, Brian, put some stank on that bass.
There you go. There you go.
But it's I think the Between Us record was our experimental project where we were trying to find, and I feel like we kind of got a glimpse or a pretty good grasp of how we seen ourselves from that project. But then again, I don't know. I feel like, you know, like you said, I think country soul is a fair.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair description.
Feel free to use it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know if we, maybe because of the collaborative angle, like, I don't know if we've ever really broken it down and made it that straightforward either.
Country soul is cool because it's almost like not even just like soul music, but like getting to the soul of the matter.
Totally. And I say soul meaning like passionate and emotional, and there's actually like sincerity behind the words instead of just manufacturing situations like so much music nowadays.
Well, thank you. That's a high compliment.
Not to throw shade on other artists, but I mean, even just hearing the behind the scenes on this song is like, yeah, that's about as soulful and original as it gets. So
well, what's cool too is I think because like the way music seems to go nowadays is it's almost to people's benefit to be a little more eclectic like that, because like with what we do, like you look at the Between Us record, and you know, we have actually a couple of songs where we have the what was it, like the Ray Charles Wurlitzer piano,
like a synth,
like a legit funk, you know, undertone to some of the songs, and then we turn around 3 songs later on the same record and it's fiddle and steel. So it's like,
it's got a bassy like rhythm section.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know, we kind of
try to mix it up, but I love country soul.
Yeah, we tend to just let the song go where it feels like it's supposed to go. try not to hold ourselves to any particular idea.
I fully understand. There's no point in augmenting it in ways that it doesn't make sense. Also,
Right.
you're the ones that are spending the most time and energy on it. It's got to be something that you enjoy, and that doesn't always include making the same thing over and over again. So, do
Right.
your thing. Is there something that you look forward to the most though when you're sort of embarking on a new song? Whether it be like actually sitting there doing the collaboration, or even just like the sweet relief of being finished with it after so much time working on it, or anything in between.
For me, it's like the aha moment of where the song's going.
Mm.
Is like when I don't know, like excited moments in a write where you're like, yeah, 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 like those
Yeah,
moments
we're
are
making
awesome.
music, we're
It's
doing
all
it. It's
yeah.
happening.
Well,
Right.
it's all possibility until the moment you know.
Yeah, the
Now,
moment you narrow down the road, all right,
yeah,
it's gonna be this. Because a lot of times we'll talk about, all right, first verse, we're gonna do that, second verse,
Sure.
do that. All right, chorus, maybe the bridge. I don't know if there's a bridge. Blah, blah, blah.
or discuss all the different ways.
Yeah, and then
do
somebody
Sure.
plays something cool, and then I don't know, it just sounds cool, and everyone's like, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's dope. Like, I don't know, just
That makes sense.
that like synchronized yes,
Sure,
it's
sure.
just it's a fun feeling.
Amazing.
Probably
Yeah.
my
Um, are you playing shows? Is that something that
Mhm.
you've done in the past or something you
Oh,
have
of
planned
course,
for the
yeah.
future?
We
Yeah.
played. We was actually touring pretty heavily up until COVID,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
and then when
doing lots
everything,
of festivals. We were headlining a couple actually.
yeah,
Amazing.
we were starting to pick up some headline gigs. It was getting really good, and when everything shut down, we were a little bit slower getting back around to it because on top of
Don't
all the
blame you.
shutdowns, we also we made a human and had a
Yeah.
little.
March 2020.
Yeah, we had a little one in
Oh,
March 2020, so
incredible
we
timing.
yeah.
Yeah, so we were all
Jeez.
shut down anyway.
Yeah.
Well, it was great. It was great for being home, but it also like you were getting through that age range where when we could have been like when a lot of our friends were back to touring again, it was just too sporadic for a while. So right now, with tour season slowing down, like we'll definitely be picking back up in the spring for sure.
In
Nice.
the summer.
Yeah, in the
Late
spring,
summer.
summer, but this year, we did still play it. We played a decent amount of shows this year, but we just didn't make like a specific touring effort the way
We
we
did a lot
used
of
to.
private shows this year, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It was a lot more on call kind of stuff rather than like scheduling out a 3 month run.
Yeah. No, that's totally fine. And honestly, your priorities change as life goes on. So you do
Yeah.
it. I'm sure it makes you happy when you get up there. Nothing wrong with that.
All right.
So we are somehow towards the end of this year, which is crazy to even admit. What does the next year of your life look like? Obviously, like, what are some lofty goals, some things that you might be looking forward to? I know you just mentioned some, but there's always something on the way.
Oh, of course, of
So
course.
I'm really looking forward to our house being done so we can have a little spot
Yeah,
in
there
there.
you go.
Yeah, where
I
we can
assume a
make
home
videos.
studio is being built.
Yeah,
Yeah.
private goals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
no, but because I want to have like a little setup in there where we can like edit videos and do,
Sure,
all of our social media stuff
of
and
course.
put more music out. Because like now, since Lucky Enough went pretty viral on TikTok, that led to us releasing that. And we're basically going to continue that model. Like put it on TikTok,
Yeah.
put it on Reels and see what people want. And if they're like, you have to record it and, a million people view it, then hey, okay, we'll put it out. Let's go. It's kind
That's
of
the
a cool thing
model.
because they're picking the music and we're like, all right, and they're helping
Wow.
us decide.
Well, it's also, I guess, from that standpoint, from a goal standpoint, that's actually kind of a good place. I think like a cool spot for the goal in my mind is to try to like learn to focus more on that angle because we've been doing this long enough that you get so caught up in the old business model of you go out, you make the product, you try to sell the product, promote this way, da da da.
Yeah, and you don't know if people are even gonna like it. But now with TikTok, you do.
Yeah, now
So we can,
Crazy.
build tours on different singles. Like we're gonna do a Lucky Enough tour. Eventually,
probably summertime.
yeah, we'll be announcing, but
Yeah,
yeah, it'll be. I don't know. It'll be fun.
But I think a good goal for the coming year would be to like really try to hone in this new model and like try to get better at it.
Yeah.
Like just really, I don't know, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like just really embrace it.
Yeah, it's a
Totally.
great tool for artists.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
constantly changing
it is
medium.
right.
No one knows on a daily basis. The
Hmm.
algorithm changes and this and that, but
Sure.
it's like, you just throw it out there and you
Yep.
see what sticks. It's really
Well, and
incredible.
that's actually a great thing. I think, ironically enough, it's actually been kind of a good change. If there was a chance for the model to get back more to the audience, because
Right.
now the audience is essentially able to let us know in real time what they
Hmm.
care
Yeah.
about.
Look at the iTunes charts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it's all
It's
about.
very much, if you look at each artist on there, you're like, that's TikTok. Oh, they canceled him or whatever. Like there's
Yeah.
always like it's like people are deciding what's on there.
Seriously. It's
hmm
You
I
know,
love it. I love it. It's like its own game
it's an
show.
exciting time. It's a
I
crazy
know.
time right now, but it's exciting.
yeah.
I agree. I have one more question for you. I
Yeah.
basically want to know for the person that is going to discover your guys' music from this, what is an opening message that you'd like to say to them?
Opening message.
Yeah.
I would. Well,
Do you?
she'll probably have something way cooler than me, but
Okay, you go first.
I think, like, for me, an opening message would just be, um, I take when you say it that way, I take it as like almost a call to what we are. It's almost like an explanation of what to expect. So, to me, an opening message, I almost feel like, is just that if they're as they dig in and learn more about us and discover that I feel like our push and our goal is to just be to bring things back to something simple and authentic. It's
Sure.
um so I guess the message would be, say something real. That's what we want to try to do, is actually say something real, because I feel like we went through a spell where the industry really shied away from that, and because of the crowd participation now, like, we're realizing people actually do still want to be inspired. And so
Here's something
I
real.
so yeah, I think my immediate message out of the gate, at first message, is that, inspiration's back. Let's do it. Hey, that's what we're hoping to do and what we're trying to do.
Yeah, but also fun. Like we also have fun as well.
Of course.
Like we've got some funny songs we'll probably try out on TikTok, and just fun songs like our song "Cool Shine" that's on Between Us. It's just fun.
But even that's just being real. Like,
Yeah, it's just
we got joke songs we made up about 2020 shutdowns
Oh,
and
of course. Gotta have it.
stuff.
it's
Yeah.
called
So,
Hindsight 2020.
yeah. Go figure.
Lovely.
But
No,
so she had probably something way more prophetic than me.
I don't know. I was
But,
just gonna say, do you like real songs and
oh,
have
look,
fun
we were kind of on the
sometimes?
same page.
Yeah.
yeah. No,
And
that's a fantastic answer. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. I think people
yeah.
will watch this or listen to this and be like, "Yeah, I like them. I'm gonna listen to their music." That's
Do
really
you
all
like
it takes.
country soul?
Do you like country soul? There you go. Um, Kelly and Troy, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time out of your days to do this. It really does mean a lot.
Oh,
Oh,
same to
Yeah,
us. We
same to you.
appreciate the opportunity.
please let me plug your music for you one more time.
Absolutely.
The
Please.
song is called Lucky Enough. The project is called Carvin Walls, but we will have links in the article so that people can listen and share and follow along and just generally stay up to date with everything that you have on the way. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the new year. It sounds like there's a ton on the way. And I sincerely hope that we can speak again soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, man. Appreciate
Totally.
it.
All right. Have an amazing rest of your day. Talk to you
All
later.
right.
See
Yeah.
ya.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye bye. See you, man.
Bye.